Divine. So welcome everybody on this absolutely magnificent, in South Africa, sunny day without electricity, I might just add. And for some of you in the rest of the world, I'm sure it's freezing, snowing, windy, and you name it. And that's what makes getting together like this absolutely incredible. That one is sitting in the sun. Oh, can everybody mute themselves? Let's see who's not muted. Okay, let's check here. Mute, and Kirsten, let's mute her. Kristen, there we go. That's what makes meeting up like this so absolutely incredible, is that we can be on opposite ends of the globe, some in summer, some in winter, and we can be getting together to share best practices and grow and learn. And that's ultimately what this platform is all about. So I want to, before I do my little introduction, to say a massive thank you again, Michael. I'm going to ask you every year, so just once a year, to come back to us. You add not only so much value, but you're just so genuine, and I can't wait to meet you. I hope you're going to be at iSpa.
I am going to be at iSpa, and more importantly, next year maybe you can meet me on your soil, because I do have plans to come to Africa next year around this time.
Done. Okay, done, deal. I cannot wait to meet you. So that's like going to be one of my biggest things this year, is meeting you in person. I can give you a big Marisa hug, and we can connect face to face, I guess. But I know that you are extremely busy, because I can see your life. And thank you for taking the time. You're sitting in a hotel room on a business trip and still making the time for our industry to help uplift us. So from the bottom of my heart and all of us, we thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody. So anybody know what this picture might mean? Or if you go into the chat box and let's hear what you think this means. Oh, shame. Renel's trying to get in. Okay, so Samantha says ratings. Shani says excellence. Okay, any more? Let's hear 3 or 4 more opinions of what you think this image might mean. Francisco says quality. Charlotte says 5-star rating. Sumari says reviews. Meredith, persistence. Okay, interesting. So I'm eventually not going to be able to do this, because I do it at every meeting and you're all going to catch me out very soon. But what this picture means is amplification. Yet again, it's our 2023 word. We are here today once again to learn how to amplify our service delivery, how to amplify our menus. And this word is actually the most incredible word, because you can amplify almost anything in your business. Okay, so don't forget that, everybody. Amplify is the word of the year for 2023. Apply it to all aspects of your life. So our promise to you today is that by the end of this session, you're going, and I can say this with all confidence because I know Michael, is that you're going to go from a feeling of indecisive, a little bit unsure, you're a bit hesitant, you don't really know what to do next, to determined, decided, and excited. And in which department? In the department of elevating or amplifying your spa or salon business to new heights. Getting some ideas on how do we get to the next level. So you're going to learn simple tips and ideas on customer service, on menu offerings. And in fact, we've got Michael's brain to pick for a little bit. So if anybody's having a challenge, I promise you want to throw it at him today. And let's just hear what ideas he can swing back at us. As usual, I always give you a little bonus, okay? But the bonus can only be claimed if you stay to the end of the session. you'll need to find out what you have to do to get a free one-on-one session with me, Marisa. Yes, your lead coach. And I'll tell you about that right at the end. Before we start, everybody, Michael is an extremely busy person. So in order for this session to have maximum benefits, we need to all commit. You know what has to happen now? You all need to go into the chat box, and I need to see the word deal from all of you, that you're going to put your phones away, that you're going to put your children away. If it means locking them in the bathroom for the next hour, then that's what you have to do. And that you're going to free yourself from distractions. Otherwise, you know what happens. We don't move forward. So please, everyone, let me get a deal in that chat box that you make a commitment for the next 45 minutes to give Michael your ears and your brain. Okay, I'm loving all the deals. Goody, goody. All right. I also want to do a very quick check that we are not wasting your time and that you are, I mean, not that you're wasting our time because we love to chat, but we want to make sure that you're in the right place. Okay. So have a look at what's in front of you. You're in the right place. If you know that you do need to make changes to your menu offering, but you're not 100% sure what changes need to be made. You're in the right place if you're not getting automatic referrals and reviews. So if you have to beg for them, then you're in the right place, okay? If you also feel that your customer service could be mind-blowing if you knew what to do to get it there. And lastly, you're in the right place if you're ready to commit to taking your business to the next level. Okay, is everyone in the right place? Can I get a yes or a thumbs up or a whatever you want to give me in the chat box, please? Let's hear. It's so easy when you're in a room and everybody just puts their hands up, right? Okay,
Right.
so Michael gave us a thumbs up. Good, right. So why is Michael the perfect coach to help you and me, actually? I'll tell you why he's the perfect coach. Now, Michael's reading everything that I'm saying here. And yes, I have done lots of research. But the bottom line is he has over 25 years of not just experience, but hands-on in the field experience. There's no price to put on that. Ranging from, and there's the companies he's worked with, Canyon Ranch, Oneida Nation Enterprises, Miraval Resorts, and currently with Hutchinson Consulting. He's also, and this I didn't know, Michael, an author and contributing author. I saw that on LinkedIn of various publications. Wow. And then I did know that for 17 years, he has been a wellness authority and speaker in our industry. And I decided to post this one referral. There are hundreds. You're welcome, everybody, to go look him up. In fact, you should connect with him. But this I loved. This lady called Alison, who's the director of Spa and Wellness. And she said, Michael is an industry leader who sets the standard and leads the way. And then this is how I feel about him. His generosity to serve as a mentor, to create growth opportunities, even to be here today to talk to us, is really what it is priceless. Okay, so that's why Michael is absolutely the perfect person to lead us and help us in this discussion that we're about to have today. And this is for after Michael talks. So now I would like to hand over to you. Off you go.
Thank you so much, Marisa, and thanks to the Spa Professionals Guild for inviting me back again this year. And maybe next year I can be in person, but I'm also very grateful for the people who are participating and listening because, you know, anything that we can do to move our industry forward thrills me. And it also is coming at a time where we are in this sort of up and down, up and down, up and down, which is, if we think about it, so much better than the down of when we were all in COVID. And so, you know, while we haven't like reached the peak, we're at least having the waves of up and down times. And so there's a lot of things that are happening out there in the world that are affecting our industry, and a lot of things that haven't affected our industry that might be in the future. And so, I come first with employment information because our company, Hutchinson Consulting, which is an Archimedes brand company, and I'm the managing director of now. We basically provide hospitality and spa professionals to the employment sector, and so it gives us an opportunity to know what is out there, what's happening in the world of employment, whether people are staying or moving, what's going on in terms of wages, et cetera. And so I want to start by sharing that and also sharing some changes in the employment industry at large so that people can be updated. Because, I think of so many things about how I used to write a resume or how I used to apply for a job, which doesn't necessarily apply to today's job market. And so what I'd like to do is just share some new things that are on the horizon because they're changing as fast as the technology is changing. And so I want everybody to at least be up to date on that. And so when it comes to spa employment, we remain short. We're short staffed. We're still needing additional help. We need massage therapists. We need estheticians. We need quality management and managers. And so, what we're seeing is that shortage hasn't stopped. And while, we're hearing things here in the States about mass layoffs in technology and other industries, we're not seeing that in hospitality. And, I'm not sure that we're going to see that in hospitality for quite some time. What we are seeing is, and this is the good news, wages are up and people are moving. But where we've ended up post-COVID is a very challenging hiring environment where people are ghosting, they're walking off the job, they may be asking employers for the moon, and then they're getting the moon and the stars, and they're still passing on the job.
Correct.
And then, of course, what I'm sort of referring to as very bad job etiquette. And I do believe that these things will follow people into the future. So if you're one of those managers who is having these symptomatic things happen with certain people, please know that, we're a very small industry and people will remember. And so, what I love about spa is that we're resilient. In terms of if you are looking for a job or thinking that you're going to be moving from the job that you're in, what used to be important was buzzwords on your resume. And the buzzwords on your resume that probably each of you might have are things like experienced or strategic or leadership or creative. All of those buzzwords are now being tossed out by systems when you send them in for employment if it's on your resume. People don't want to see those words anymore. And so what it's changed from is from buzzwords to keywords. And I'll tell you the easiest trick for getting keywords in a system for a job that you're looking for. So let's say you want to be a regional vice president of spas, but you don't know how to get there. And every time you apply, you get denied. Well, what I would say is go and find 5 regional vice president of spa job descriptions that are posted out there online and print them all out. And as you print them, highlight all the similar words that are in the text boxes of the job description for each of the 5. And then take those keywords, because those are keywords that the system will recognize, and take those keywords and write them into your resume. Make sure your resume has those keywords, because then the system will pull and accept your resume and send it to the hiring manager. Otherwise, you're going to be in a position where you're going to get a decline letter. And so, having those keywords is essential. Things like sales, service, anything that relates to accounting and finance. Most importantly, and this is a new thing, position titles. And so that's going to come in later on in my discussion, but make sure that you have the right position title on your resume, your skills and your certifications. And having the right resume look is more essential than ever. So the value of having the value of the right resume and the interview skills, a good set of interview skills, when you combine those two things, it's equaling money. And that's paying off for people who are looking for a new job. So let's just talk a minute about money, because that's what everybody sort of wants to know. What are people making? And of course, I'm going by the broader North American rates, so please keep that in mind. But I'm not, and I'm doing a full cross section of the industry for spa director positions. And I can wholeheartedly, with every confidence, say that yes, spa salaries are up. A review of the spa director placements for the last year at Hutchinson show that only one placement was made below $100,000. So over the last 12 months, every spa director we've placed, the low was there was only one below $100,000. And I think that's the first time we've crossed the six-figure threshold. We are seeing the higher sort of higher levels of salary. However, the higher end spa positions that used to be in the 175,000 plus range. So those regional positions, those big spas that had to have a big spa director with big salaries, they're starting to be less frequent. So the range of salary currently that we're seeing is a base of 105 to a max of 140. That's the typical current salary range that Hutchinson Consulting is seeing for placements. And so there you have sort of a benchmark for being able to know where it should you should lie. Second, we're continuing to see more spa manager job titles to reduce the salary of the position, which is concerning to me from a twofold perspective. First, the reduction in wage, and second, the keywords in your resume that your former job titles have are going to be important moving forward. And so if you then take a spa manager job, it could further enhance you moving out into the future. But people need to think and give pause to, is it the money they're looking for, or is the job title more important? I think we have to keep an eye on this change moving forward. So where's the urgent need post-COVID now that we're fully open? Our employees in the hospitality industry left, and they all went into different sectors, many of them. So they didn't just go away and become a realtor or become a tech assistant or become something like that, and they're ready to come back to hotels. That didn't happen. They actually went and decided to go do other things. And food and beverage is the same exact space. The sous chefs and the executive sous chefs created these, places where they were going out and making their own businesses, doing custom dinners in people's homes, et cetera. And they became more entrepreneurial. And they're really not interested in coming back into our industry. However, what we're seeing now is that there are these cuts that are coming during inflation, yet hospitality remains short. And the shortage has given us a secure job market, at least in the short term. And there should be a worsening effect on the economy with inflation in the next few months. So what would normally be a downturn for us is going to be a time when we're going into the summer months, which is high season, and a time when many people travel. So our outlook looks good for the immediate future. So who are our new employees, and what do they lack? They're friendly. They're really friendly people. We're talking about women in the market. We're talking about Gen Z in our industry, and we're talking about millennials, and we're also talking about seniors who are all coming into the hospitality field, who have interest, who don't necessarily come from a hospitality background. In fact, most of them don't. And so what is happening is that during the height of the reopening, we were at crisis staffing levels. And therefore, we were hiring anybody and everybody, even if they didn't have hospitality or spa background. And we were just throwing them at the desk. And of course, we were throwing them to the wolves. Why? Because people were coming back into our spas, into our hotels, and we were short staffed, and they didn't want to hear it's because of COVID. They were sick of hearing that, as a matter of fact. And so what happened is we took this new generation of people coming into our industry, and we threw them to the wolves of these sort of angry guests and customers, and then didn't give them any training. Okay. We
Yeah.
train them on the essentials of doing the job. Here's how you work the booking system. Here's how you open. Here's how you close. Here's how you make sure the process happens. But what we didn't do is we didn't teach them hospitality skills. We didn't teach them many, many things that now I'm finding, and I stay in 100 nights a year in a hotel. I'm in one now. And so I stay at every level of hotel there is, from 2-star to luxury. And I can tell you across the board that poor customer service in the frontline staff is overwhelming. And so what can we do when we have those front level staff and they haven't been trained? We need to go to our general managers, we need to go to our owners, we need to go to the people who can affect change, and we need to tell them we need customer service training for our staff. Because if you think about it, poor customer service and a lack of proper training can ruin the guest experience, but most importantly at this time, it can also ruin employee retention. Because if people don't understand the proper way that they're supposed to be doing a job in hospitality, and our guests are giving them negative and sometimes angry feedback, they're going to say, I don't need this, I'm going to quit. So speak to your leadership, get on board with getting your staff full customer service training. And I'm talking about every level, from how you address people to how you pick up the phone, etc. I want to just share a few of the experiences that I'm seeing when I check into hotels. They've sort of had an elimination of the either hotel operator or the hotel front desk, or the spa person who picks up the spa phone and the spa front desk. And so all the calls are going to the front desk, which is okay unless you have a line of people in front of you, right? And then while you're talking to somebody, they say, oh, excuse me a minute. And then they pick up the phone, and then they have to tell that person to hold, or they take that conversation while you're standing there waiting. That has happened to me in almost every place that I've gone to. I'm also seeing employees gathering in public spaces, having full-on personal conversations, in places, and speaking in areas that is as a guest area. And further, unkempt appearances. I think about how unpolished hospitality is becoming at a time when we're charging the highest rates in the industry, and then going to a front desk at a spa and seeing somebody with dirty nails or wet hair. I can't. And what can a manager do? Because they're going to say, well, if I let them go, then I have nobody to do the front desk because they're the only person that I have. Having customer service training allows you to teach an employee something without it directly being a confrontational issue to them. At Hutchinson, we do a customer service training. I don't. Carol Stratford, who works for us, does. And we used to do about one a month, where we would go in and train the whole staff across the board. Just in the last 3 weeks, we've done 3. So we've gone to hotels or spas to do 3 full customer service training for everybody on the staff, so that everybody's up to date of where they used to be. I would imagine at this time, it has got to be a great time for like Forbes 5-star, which is why I'm so glad you showed that 5-star check mark, because they must be busy as heck right now, because the luxury segment in particular needs to have their staff come up to that level. And all of these places who are hiring people who have never worked in hospitality before. And so, if anything, I think that needs to be our number one uh, change or enhancement as we look to the next 3 to 6 months. The second thing that we have to think about is the looming worsening economy and inflation. Inflation is happening so fast; it's not coming down as soon as we thought it was, and so we're starting to see resistance in a lot of different places around pricing. And so I want to just throw this out to people. And I know this is a time where we're really making hay while the sun shines. But in the next 6 months, and probably now, so that you're prepared in the next 3 to 6 months, we have to think about service pricing on our menu. And we really have to go back to that dynamic pricing. Yes, of course. But we also have to think about where we're currently at. So I just recently went to a spa, beautiful, beautiful spa. I was thrilled to go there. And the service that I wanted, and by the way, this was the average service price range, was somewhere between $250 and $350 for one treatment. That would include tax and tip. And I was just like mortified. I was just like, wow, I couldn't be here for 3 days and have two spa treatments because that would be like an extra night in a luxury hotel. And so while I don't want to diminish the work that we're doing, and I know that product costs are going up and labor in particular is going up, I think we have to start looking at our spa service pricing. A simple massage or facial, and I haven't checked the iSpa data, and I'm sure that iSpa has it handy if anybody was interested in that. But where I'm going is simple massage or facial is about $150. And so, if you think that people are very conscious about money and are getting more and more conscious about money, what's going to happen in the near future when they're going into a place and a spa treatment is $350? They're going to start choosing lower priced services. So if I was a manager right now, I would start thinking more in the lines of express services, refresher treatments that cut time and cut costs. And I would be creative in creating those mini treatments and then combining those mini treatments into 1 hour so that the guest feels that the money that they're paying for their treatment has value. Not only did I get, a neck and shoulder massage, but I also got a hand treatment, I got an eye boost, I got a lip boost, whatever it might be, so that they're getting several things combined into that 1 hour treatment. I really firmly believe that even the luxury segment, and this is really the first time I'm saying this, I believe even the luxury segment will start seeing a reduction in the dollar per treatment spend by our guests. And so we need to plan for it now. New items that I think that are out there that we should discuss is personal well-being. I think wellness has sort of morphed into the well-being term as opposed to wellness, and it's really become personalized. Your personal well-being may be different than my personal well-being, and it's never more true now than with medical technology. Technology is coming into the field where they're able to map everything, everything. And so what we're finding is that gut and intestinal flora have made a tremendous difference on fixing health concerns on an individual. And so I do think that we will continue to see more in the lines of nutrition, more in the lines of organic, more in the lines of how we feed and fuel our body, and bodies will become important. And so making sure that we're conscious of these new things, because lots of the diseases that we're seeing and the inflammation in our bodies is because of poor intestinal gut flora. And so with that, I think that the expansion of the data supporting gut health and treatments that not only make you look good, but protect you from harmful bacteria. And what does that? We all know the answer to this. Probiotics, probiotics, probiotics. And so we'll be looking for probiotics in our food. We'll be looking for probiotic supplements. We'll be looking for those skincare treatment enhancements that have probiotics in it. So, things that you're putting on your skin that give you a defense against other microorganisms. I wanted to talk quickly about this. I spoke about during COVID about us putting so much hand sanitizer on our hands. Okay. When I was a nurse, the number one thing about preventing infection was proper hand washing. And so, what has happened was it's not only gone from proper hand washing, it's now proper hand washing plus putting on the sorry, I'm having the sanitizer. Sorry, there you go. The sanitizer is alcohol. Now, what happens when you put alcohol on your skin? It cools it and then it dries it out. And if you keep doing that over and over and over again, you flake. It dries, it starts to crack, and those cracks allow microorganisms into your skin and under the first layers of your dermis so that you get inflammation in your skin and you don't look young anymore. And so one of the things that I'm not sure if you can still hear or see me, but I just glitched out. One of the things that I think that we should really start thinking about is hand treatments. Cosmetics have not gone away. People are still doing the Botox. They're still doing the fillers. They're still doing the lip enhancers. They're not going to go away, regardless of what anybody thought about Madonna and how we tore her up. People want to look younger longer. And so, of course, the first place they go to is their face. And what's happened is that we've become a society where people go, well, how old is that person really, right? Because we have ageism happening. And so you look to a woman's neck and hands, right? So that's why you see women wearing the scarves. I mean, I'm not telling you anything new, but the hands are going to become extremely important, particularly as they age more from all the sanitizers that we're using on them. So let's put good probiotics back onto the hands, to protect them and keep them looking younger longer. The other thing that's out there and has been for years is salt rooms. And some people are doing a shorter version of the salt room in a salt wall. But what I'm here to tell everybody is that the salt room is becoming an expected amenity, like saunas and steam rooms. They're never going to go away. It's not a fad. Salt is a natural protectant of our organisms, our breathing. We came from the water. The water is salt water. We need to get that back in us and on us. And it's so helpful, and it kills microorganisms, which is why they're going from hot stones to hot salt rocks, because you get less microorganisms. They can't grow on a piece of salt. It's become a standard amenity and an expected amenity. Do you have a sauna, a steam room, and a salt room? And so, please keep that in mind. In terms of what has happened in the comeback of our guests, is that they're finding value more than ever in fitness. And so fitness everybody's returned to the gym. It's no longer the outside exercising. Some people still do the CrossFits, etc., but people are going back to the gym now. And when they come back to the gym, they're seeking something specific to them. So they're looking at, what does the gym look like? Is there a social space? Is there places for group training? Is there a place where you can go off by yourself and do your own thing? And is there technology to support the things that they're trying to accomplish? And so we're seeing fitness companies putting some really cool things into their fitness equipment that are customized for the person who is exercising on them. So right now, a lot of different companies are redoing their entire gyms. They may not be redoing the spa, they may not be redoing the pool area, they may not be redoing the hotel guest rooms, but they are investing in what the fitness center looks like and what the feel is of that fitness center. And so keep in mind, if you're looking at your fitness center and it's dated or it feels old or people are not congregating there. And I go to a lot of hotels where I walk by a room that has fitness equipment in it that nobody's ever on, because who wants to, be on 4 pieces of equipment looking out a window? You have to find a way to enhance it, to draw in the people who are coming back to fitness in droves. Touch-free services. So moving on, touch-free services. We did it wrong. Okay. So I do think touch-free will be here to stay. I think it's very necessary because we don't have the labor to do the services that we'd like. And the flow through on touch-free services is about 85%. 85%. Because many times all you need is a desk person to put them on the touch-free piece of equipment and they're good to go for 30 minutes or 15 minutes or a half an hour, whatever it might be. What I'm finding is the places that have done touch-free services successfully are not the ones who bought in 30 or 40 different treatments that overwhelm people, that they didn't understand what the touch-free piece of equipment was for, but the ones who have done customized, bespoke touch-free services that go with their brand, that go with the mission of what they're trying to support, has really worked. I went to a touch-free spa here in the US, and they have them in Europe. They're all over France now. I think there's 6 or 7 of them in France. And by the way, there's also now these chains of touch-free places that you can go in and get these like wellness pit stops. But one of the cool ones that I did was I put on a scuba suit. It looks like a scuba suit, and then you put on an altered reality goggles, and you climb on what looks like one of those mechanical bulls in a bar that you never want to go on when you're too drunk and get thrown off of. But it looked like one of those things, and you lay down on it, and they've got a place for your arms and your legs, and you fly like you're on a magic carpet ride on visuals, and your body is moving like that, and you're trying to hold on to this piece of machinery while it's sending electrodes to your large muscles that are working out your body as if you're working out in the gym. And what this is doing is it's giving a 1-hour exercise routine in a 15-minute ride. So, and I'm saying ride because to me, it felt like an amusement park ride. But when I got off and I took that suit off, which I couldn't wait to do, I was exhausted. And so I think that if you use touch-free, and I still highly recommend it, use touch-free that is geared toward your spa. So if you're doing stim lights or you're doing, the ergonomic boots, whatever it might be that you're using, please make sure that it's customized to whatever your spa experience is. I'm moving on again. So one of the things that we've seen in the last few years is a conglomeration of hotels. So brands are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're buying more and more and more of the bespoke companies. And so, we're seeing it everywhere. So it's almost like Marriott and Hyatt and Hilton are all competing, and now IHG, they're all competing for who can have the most and who can, have the biggest sector of the hospitality industry out there. But what goes with those hotels is an awful lot of resorts and spas that are in the hotels and spas that are in those resorts. And so all of a sudden it's becoming a little bit more corporate, okay? And so what we're finding and what we're seeing is that there is an opportunity for new spa management contracts, people who are managing the spa, because, and I'm going to tell you this from a hiring perspective that we just talked about. You have a spa director, they have nobody under them, or maybe one lead or two leads, maybe a supervisor. We've gone back to the maybe not an assistant manager or assistant spa director anymore, or we've leveled it down to a spa manager. I spoke about that earlier. So now you have people who are not as skilled and certainly not trained in financials. So financial acumen in a spa is going to be really important. And so lots of times people will say, "Oh, geez, a management contract, from somebody who, is a big player in the management space of spas, isn't always ideal, because of X, Y, and Z." Well, now it's going to become ideal. It is. And I want to just talk a little bit about the benefits of this, especially on efficiencies. When you have a spa management contract in place, they may have 30 or 50 or 100 or 250 or 1,000 spas under them. What does that do? It gives them the opportunity to focus on the financial business practices of your organization. Because what we don't want is to lose spas by financial mismanagement. And so spa management companies have a tremendous opportunity right now, because there is a lot of places that, and I know that we've always suffered from having the right financial models in place and having the people who understand spa financials and the greater picture of hospitality financials. And so this is an opportunity for spa management companies to actually make their way in. On top of that, it reduces waste and it reduces overhead. And as we all know, there is power in numbers. And so if you are thinking about, well, how could a management contract help my spa? Or if you are one of those spa directors who you're now going to have a spa management company and you're going to be reporting to somebody at a spa management company, do it with open eyes, because it's going to give you the opportunity to learn about the numbers in a way that maybe you haven't learned about before. And so just keep that in mind as we move forward. I think we're going to see a lot more spa management contracts because of that. All right, everybody knows, and I'm going to try to wind it down here. When the economy starts to go down and inflation starts to go up, the one thing that sells and has never disappointed is lipstick. Okay, so lipstick, lip balm, everything lip. You should walk into your spa, and in your retail section, front and center should be lips. Why? Because women are not hesitant to buy it. And so, I'm not saying it has to be traditional lipstick. It can be lip balm, it could be lip gloss, it could be whatever it might be. But let's make sure that our retail is focusing on lips. I checked into the hotel that I'm at right now, and I looked down, and there was a lip balm on the counter next to the front desk woman who was checking me in, and it was a CBD lip balm. Okay. And, we talked about CBD a couple of years ago. We knew it was coming. It's now here to stay. But CBD products are very popular with the Gen Z, and they're also now popular with seniors. And seniors have more expendable income than anybody else. The silver tsunami, $60 billion worth of expendable income. And they're looking to treat their inflammation and chronic pain. And so they're trying it. It used to be, oh, I'm not going to try, X, Y, and Z, but they're now trying CBD products. And so I think that will continue to grow. Finally, labor costs. Labor costs are our biggest issue in managing staff. And so there are technology products that are coming out to market that I think are really exciting. For many of you, you probably know Alana Alberico from iSpa, or she was ISM Spas for a long time. She went out and created a 3-sided booking engine. Okay, so what she did was she created this tech platform where the massage therapists work for, and hopefully in the future estheticians, I believe it is estheticians, work for spa space. So they're no longer your employees. So you don't have to worry about their benefits. You don't have to worry about um, their performance reviews. They're all done by this third-party tech platform. The guest can choose the service that they want with the provider that they want specific to them. I want somebody who does Thai massage and deep tissue. Boom, all these people come up. Those people show up at your spa. It's not like the Zeal and the Soothes, okay, that used to be. And I'm using those as an example, and I'm sure that they have advanced in the future since then. But this actually pays the service provider in real time. They finish the service on the massage service or the facial on the person in your spa, and they walk out and get paid for the service immediately after the guest checks out. And so if you have a single mom who's worried about paying her cell phone or having to go get groceries, she could get on this platform of Spa Space, go do a service, and be paid immediately. So for somebody who needs to pay their cell phone bill by tomorrow, here's a way of going out and getting 2 services done, being paid in real time, and walking out and being able to do that. So I think it's going to be really attractive. This third-party booking engine, Spa Space, I think it's going to be super attractive to practitioners in the future. And I think it'll be a breath of fresh air for managers who are having to put out all of the effort and labor in trying to keep their staff happy. In closing, I just want to say that in 30 years of being in the spa industry, one of the things that I've found about our industry is that we are constantly resilient. We are an industry that keeps coming back and keeps coming back and keeps coming back. And so what that gives me is a tremendous amount of pride to work with every one of you on this call and listening in, that we accept everyone for where they're at. We help them get better, and we help them to move them to a positive space, and we've survived. So if anything, on this conversation, I just want you guys to refine what you're doing, prepare for what's to come, take heed to a few of the things that I've said and just try them and see where they go with them. And I really appreciate being here with you all today. I'm happy to take questions. I love our industry and I love you all. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Michael? Maybe if you want to unmute and ask. So, Michael, I'd like to ask and say something. I've just come back from the UK. I was there and I spoke at 2 different conferences, and I attended a Sedesco presentation and all the rest of it. And I'm getting 3 perspectives from what is happening globally. So you're talking about cutting down and making more express services. We in this country are experiencing people wanting longer services and more packages now. And then, very interestingly, in the UK, they are wanting very immersive, or they're offering very immersive experiences. I'm going to share my whole trip at my next coaching session, because I learned a few very interesting new things that are happening. But I found that quite fascinating, that same industry, but different things happening around the world.
Let me clarify. What you're seeing is happening, and it's happening everywhere. And especially in the bespoke places that people go to. They're wanting to be really immersive and get the experiential part and longer treatments. What I was talking about with the mini services, the express services, the packaging of those, is what's to come in 6 months.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to prepare people for what they should be thinking about at the end of the summer, because it's going to come fast and hard.
And is that because of what's happening economically that you foresee? Right. Okay. So that's very interesting. Okay. So yeah, we should start preparing now, right?
Right.
What's the easiest way to roll out something like that, Michael? Do you have like a little menu that you prepare for called a taster menu or something? I don't know.
There's lots of ways you can do it, but the first thing I would do would be to start with your vendors that you're using in your spa that you like a lot. And then
Mhm.
secondly, I would start with your team. And so, it's hard to be the person responsible for everything. And so
Mhm.
get your team involved so you can get a buy-in from them because it's going to make the sell easier. And also get the vendors involved because you may be able to say to them, I need to create something that, is cost conscious, but we still want to use your products and we want to partner with you as a vendor. This is the time to really get deep on our partnership. And so let's get our whole team involved. That's where I would start.
Wow, okay, so that's quite interesting. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so does anybody, and I love Lanil's comment, I just need to mention that one, where she says here, a silver tsunami. I love it. I also love that word that you've used, that most of the gym classes are now made up of seniors too. Coming to the gym is their social and activity time. Michael,
Absolutely.
are you seeing an uptake in menopause and menopausal offerings and menopausal everything?
I think women are always the first to think about healthcare, and not just for themselves, but for their family and families and extended families. And so anything, we were always, even if you say, and research shows this, that men are coming to spas as much as women are, it's
Okay.
still going to be the women who drive the services. And so menopause is never going to go away. It's part of a woman's life. And so these are going to be things that we're always going to have to think of. But yes, it doesn't know whether it's hormone replacement therapy or whether it's, things that you're eating that support hormonal health. I think that is always going to be a standard in our industry for sure. Absolutely.
Sounds good. Lanil, your hand is up. Do you want to unmute or do you want to put a question?
Good morning. How's everybody?
Good in you.
Good, good. Michael, I have a quick question on the third-party booking for therapists.
Yeah.
Is that already happening? And is there an app, or is it a way? Would a therapist be able to register with multiple spas and then sort of pick and choose, or is it already happening, or is that still futuristic?
It already is happening. And so it's happening here in the States. I believe you can go to spaspace.com. That's one of them. I can
Okay.
get you the information, Lanil, but yes, they're working at multiple spas,
Wow.
but basically doing the pieces that they're doing. But I believe they're even in, some of the larger hotels like Marriott's. So
Wow.
yes, I'll get you those.
Okay, that's interesting because you wonder, like, especially with the hotel groups, like, do they mind with the therapist bouncing between a Marriott and a Hyatt and then coming to a Rosewood? Or like, do they have they're going to have a training of a therapist that knows the protocols for the different hotel groups, which is interesting.
Yes, it is interesting. And, they've figured out a way to make it happen. And so, it may not be every service that's on your menu, but
Got
it's
you.
enough to, fill in on the spaces where you don't have service offerings available,
That's
like
amazing.
the traditional, general facial or massage. So, yeah, take a look at that because it's
I will.
already in use.
Okay, thank you so much.
And I need to run because I have another presentation right now that I've got to get to. I'm thankful. Thank you, Marisa, for everything. And I hope to be there next year in person.
Love it, love it. So I'll do my little goodbye to everybody, but thank you so much, Michael. We'll chat soon, okay?
Take care.
Cheerio, cheerio. Okay, everyone. So there is a question here in the chat box that says, I'm going to send it to, sorry, who is iPhone? Can you let me know who your name is? And I will send the question to Michael, and maybe he could even just write a little post about it for us. And so if you can just let me know who is iPhone that is asking that question. Please let me know who you are. and then I can get some information from Michael to you. Okay, everyone. So I'm going to take up 2 little minutes of your time to discuss what happens next, right? Where to from here? And the famous question that everybody always loves is, would you like to take your business skills and knowledge to the next level so that you can double or triple your revenue this year? So let's hear in the chat box, is that where you are at the moment in your business? Please let me know. Just with a simple yes will be amazing. Okay, Nungo's always very quick to type. Yes. Let's hear some more. Let's hear some more. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so I'm assuming that everybody is, when they see double or even triple, the answer is very much yes. I think what is holding us back, or what we're not sure of, is how do we get there? How are we going to take this business, and how are we going to double or triple our revenue this year? So the first thing, and there's only 2 or 3 slides here, is make time to learn. And that is what you are doing here today. So well done. We are preaching to the converted, is that you've got to keep learning, listening, growing, and experimenting. That is the first key that unlocks the door that opens up to us getting all the tools to being able to double or triple our revenue. So we're definitely not in a space of, I've been a manager for 20 years, I've got this waxed. Okay, those days are long gone. Keeping curious all the time. You've got 2 ways to keep curious and stay learning. One is do it yourself. Go on YouTube, research, read. I'm sure you're getting newsletters coming out of your ears. Or option 2 is that you can do it with us. You can use our 100% proven framework, as well as a step-by-step roadmap on how to get you to that double and triple revenue. And that is by joining our global learning community. Most of you on this call are members of our community. So we love having you here. I do hope that every single one of you that is a member is getting that benefit, and that you are on your way to seeing the fruits of all the learning that you're doing. I'm going to scroll through these very quickly. This is for people who haven't seen them before. But basically, I just want you to get a quick overview of the amount of content that we have for you at Spark Professionals Guild. So it's everything to do with staff, everything to do with human resources. And when I say everything, I mean there's hundreds of templates and tools that we give you with operations, marketing and sales, social media, revenue management, and there's SOP. Okay, so really what you need to think about is, if you had to purchase all these templates, if you had to get a guaranteed business blueprint, if you had to have live group coaching session, weekly valuable newsletters, not just newsletters of information that you really cannot apply immediately into your business, ongoing upgrades and additions to templates and course information, and practically your own business coach holding your hand through this process. So remember, I said to you, there is a one-on-one session with me that is valued at $1,000 US. And this really is if you register and become a member of our community by Monday, or you refer an industry colleague to join our community, because ultimately that is how we're going to grow and uplift and better our industry. So there's a QR code for you all to scan. This QR code will take you directly, so you can take a quick picture of it. It'll take you directly to our membership registration page. You can even take a picture of this and send this off to an industry colleague. And in this way, we all stand together to help evolve and grow our industry. Okay, so thank you so very much, everybody. It was amazing to have you all here. Can we quickly have a checkout word? How are you feeling today after this session? Very quick checkout word, and then we're done. I'm going to say goodbye. And I also want to, while you're doing your checkout words, I want to remind you all about our coaching session on the 23rd of March. We are going to put out, I've changed it a little bit because I've just come back from the UK. The experiences that I had there and the information that I learned, I feel that I need to share it in a session. I need to show you video clips of what I did. I need to show you video clips of what I saw. I need to show you, I'm not going to tell you too much now, but a new way to do online gift vouchers that blew my mind. So I want to change our next coaching session a little bit. I am going to use that session to share my experiences, which in turn are going to get your brain tick tock, tick tock. It's actually going to make your brain go wild with so many ideas on what you can possibly do and introduce and offer into your businesses. How does that sound, everyone? Okay, awesome. So thank you, everyone. Samantha says it's time to brainstorm. Oh, yes, it is. Danielle, it was lovely to have you online. You too, Vishal, in fact, everybody. And I just want to say, have the most beautiful evening or the most beautiful day wherever in the world you are. Goodbye, everybody. Love you all so much. Cheerio. Ciao, ciao, darling Danielle.